All right, Oval fans. Now, look, on Monday, I recorded like a 20-something minute video. It could have been shorter, but I forgot the time length. But basically, I did a video talking about how season 3 is trash. Because if you've been watching my reviews, you know that it hasn't really been good. Or at least I haven't thought it's been good. And to be honest, based on the comments, a lot of you agree with me. Last night's episode, episode 9 of season 3, entitled Glove Up, easily the best episode of the season. Is it perfect? No. But was it enjoyable to watch? Definitely. There are a few twists and turns I didn't see coming. I do feel maybe one or two things could have been done differently or better, but for the most part, I can say I did not hate the episode. I did not despise the episode. I did not feel like the episode was a waste of time. I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. I did enjoy it, but like I said, I do feel like certain things were done that I really didn't care for, because I do feel like maybe they could have been tweaked to be done better. So, with that being said, before getting into the review, feel free to, help a brother out on the channel by hitting the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Hit subscribe as we get closer to 200,000 subscribers. Hit that bell icon and select all. That way you are notified whenever I post content on the channel. And follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. So, the episode picks up where we left off with Alan having a baseball bat. Remember, he's standing close to the bed. Baseball bat raised up behind his head and about to come down on Ellie's head. She gets up to go to the bathroom without seeing Alan there because she's facing the other direction. And while she's in the bathroom, he gets a phone call from Victoria asking him what's taking so long. And then he's like, wait, are you watching me? How are you watching me? Don't worry about that. And he just says, look, I can't do it. And then Victoria brings up, how's your mother? And apparently she says, hey, check your phone, because I believe there's some photos, or, the call is made a 3-way and Alan's mother's on the phone. Alan, what's going on? Who are these people? So apparently, and it isn't Grip, because remember, Grip, well, if you don't know who Grip is, he's the guy Victoria sent over to the apartment, as well as the one who ran up in Alan's car. Look, my stomach is growling. If you hear any, it's 8:23, so I haven't eaten breakfast yet. But basically, he's the guy who's been beating up on Alan. And Alan asked the same thing I've been asking the entire time. Why do you want me to kill Ellie instead of getting this Grip guy to do it? Because he's already beaten me up and he seems efficient at his job. It would be less fun that way, and plus I'm evil. When I tell you, that's the flimsiest of justifications. But I'll get to that momentarily. So basically at this point, it's like, look, put a bullet through her skull, kill Ellie, and your mom gets to go free. She'll be at home making you your favorite Italian dishes. So, ironically, Ellie comes back in and tells, Alan to go somewhere, basically pissing him off, like, look, go somewhere, quit staring at me, I'm trying to go to sleep. And then theme music. And then as soon as the theme music's over, because I'm thinking, oh wow, this is going to be easy for Alan at this point, because not only is his mom's life in danger, but now the woman he's hesitant to kill is really just, pissing him off, and has basically been ignoring him at every turn when he's been trying to say, watch your back, be careful, don't threaten me. Don't threaten me, Alan. If you're going to do something to me, just do it. I'm talking about previous episodes here. Now, after the theme song, she just like, Alan, why are you even still here? Why are you staying? What's after everything I put you through, after everything I've said, how I said I don't love you and everything, why are you still here? So, in the midst of it, he's just saying, go to sleep, Ellie. Go to sleep, Ellie. Go to sleep. He's getting agitated. But out of nowhere, and I mean out of nowhere, she begins to pour her heart out to Alan, saying, look, the reason I can't look at you, the reason I can't be around you is because I feel so guilty. I feel so bad. Everything you said about the president has been right. I thought, I can, sleep with him and, work my magic and get what I want, power and whatnot. But I just found out that he looks at me as nothing more than a sex object. He doesn't take me seriously. I'm just there to try to do my job, but he won't leave me alone. The first lady's harassing me, and I just want to let you know the truth. I'm not lying to you when I said I don't have sex with him anymore. I just know I cut him off. I'm done, but he just won't leave me alone because I realized, Alan, it's only you I love, and I just needed one night. I wanted one day, one night to myself to try to figure out what I can do to express how sorry I am to get you back. And Alan is like, don't tell me this, Ellie, don't, because yeah, I mean, he's trying to muster up the courage to kill her in order to save his mom. The woman who flat out told him, look, the only reason I got with you, Alan, was for convenience because you were a stepping stone in order to help me to get one step further to where I want to be in a more powerful position. But then all of a sudden, you're telling Alan everything he wants to hear. And in the midst of her pouring her heart out, a stray bullet comes, and comes out of nowhere. I don't know what was more random. The bullet that came and just shot Ellie in the head and killed her in front of Alan, or her pouring her heart out like this. For real, I was just like, with her pouring her heart out, I thought the story would be or maybe even the entire episode, maybe leading into next week. You know how Tyler Perry drags his shit out. Basically, Alan wrestling with the idea of, okay, do I save my mom? But then Ellie, the girl I love, she's literally telling me everything I've always wanted to hear, and she wants me back and this and that. What am I supposed to do? And then maybe as the episode goes on, Alan gets some photos. He gets a phone call showing his mom being beaten up, harassed, tortured. And the longer he holds out on killing Ellie, the more harm comes to his mother until he eventually does the dirty deed because even though he doesn't want to, which would have made things even more heart-wrenching, would be him with like a gun or the bat. And then Ellie wakes up wondering what he's doing. And then, the fear is in her eyes and he has to kill her. So basically, that's how dark I thought this would go, as opposed to her just randomly being off like that. I just don't get it. So my question is, who's going to be the press secretary now? I mean, you lost the first press, you murdered the first press secretary. Now you've murdered the acting press secretary. So, okay, whatever. But in the midst of this, we go over to Max and Bobby in the van. Max gets a call from the vice president. And remember, his name is Ian, but I'm still just going to call him the VP. The VP says you're going to be dropped off at, look, I can't really do the Obama impression voice. I just woke up a couple hours ago, so my voice isn't 100%. I'm not sick. My voice just isn't, at full capacity. But he says, hey, we have a donor and supporter and somebody who's an ally at the Washington Grand Hotel. We got a room for you there, you and Bobby. Just stay there, lay low, and think about my offer. So after they get off the phone, Max talks to Bobby about, well, they're taking us to a hotel. Bobby and him have a brief conversation about how trustworthy this is. And Max pretty much figures, well, if he wanted us dead, he would have done it by now. So after that, we go over to Sam and Kyle. Sam has a moment where he catches Kyle looking up some surveillance footage, and he pretty much wants to know what Kyle's doing. And he says, look, the chief of staff has me working on something. And he's like, what is it? He just told me to look into something. So this scene doesn't, that's one thing I will say about this episode. For the most part, none of these scenes stay on the screen longer than they need to be. Some people might disagree, like Jeremy. I feel like this scene over here dragged a bit. Again, I don't feel like overall this episode dragged. It just felt like, okay, we got this portion of the story from this character, on to the next one. So, afterwards we have Sam leaving, basically saying, I'm going to look into this. And then Kyle calls Donald to let him know that Sam is questioning things. I don't give a damn about Sam. Look into this for me. Find Bobby. I will admit, Donald was he was pretty funny in these first few scenes because he's just like barking out orders to Kyle because he wants to find Bobby and he wants Bobby found now. And Kyle tells Donald, look, there's no trace of Bobby. We even brought 2 canines in here. He is gone. And Lily's up in her bedroom, and then Donald just bursts in and confronts her about the whole thing about how'd you let Bobby in the White House? How'd you let him out? What's going on? And Lily acts like she has no idea what he's talking about. But he pretty much warns her, look, if we don't find a sign of Bobby in 1 hour in the morning, I'm going to force you to tell me everything. And then that's what she says, the line. This is where she says the line from the promo that had people thinking, oh my God, somebody's going to die. Well, you try to come up in here tomorrow morning, I'll blow your brains out. And then she goes to the drawer and the gun is gone. And from there, Donald also says your phone is cut off and it's blocked. You have no signal. So you're pretty much stuck in here, little girl. So he leaves and Lily is freaking out. We go over to Richard and Nancy's house. Barry is on the sidewalk and he's making out with this new girl, Mia, which I do believe is the same girl that he met on that random app and had, you know, basically was having sex with over in his room. That's when, you know, Nancy walked in and got mad at him. But basically they're standing outside making out. Sharon rolls up and she's pissed off. And who's this? Oh, Sharon, this is Mia. Yeah, this is Mia. And then before they can kiss and, you know, goodbye, Sharon's like, no, go on, girl. And Barry rightfully says, what are you tripping for? Why aren't you somewhere with Kareem? That's where I thought you were. But basically, Sharon ain't got time for this because she needs to talk to Richard, but he's asleep. Wake him up. And before Barry and Sharon could even get into the house, Kareem pops up out of nowhere saying, Sharon, what are you doing here? What's going on? Are you okay? And then Barry, look, most of the time I'm mad at Barry for being a hothead, but I'm honestly not upset with him in this episode because I feel like he has every right to be pissed off. Like, what? First of all, you came, got a box of your things, and left. So what the hell are you coming back here for? And secondly, why the hell is he here? I'm not mad at him. So, in the midst of their back and forth, because Kareem is surprisingly level-headed. He's just trying to make sure Sharon is okay. So, it's interesting because Sharon is more concerned about talking to Mr. Richard about the situation with the president than she is about Barry and this girl, even though she did take a moment to kick her, you know, make her leave. And then Kareem shows up. He doesn't even think about getting into it with Barry because he's worried because he knew things were messed up with Sharon, but he doesn't know what it is. But in the midst of their back and forth bickering, Richard and Nancy come outside. And look, I'm glad they mentioned Miss Jody because I was thinking the same thing. Lord, when is Miss Jody going to turn on that that light outside of her front door, poke her head out, say, what's going on out here? Because remember, the last time there was some ruckus outside, I believe that's when Sam came over pissed off and he beat the hell out of Richard and Jody popped outside and started yelling. So Richard and Nancy come outside, tell them, everybody get in the house right now before Miss Jody sees us and, hears us, comes outside and says something. So everybody comes inside. You got Nancy and Barry on one side of the dining room. Richard's in the middle, and then you have Sharon and Kareem on the other side. And, you know, Barry's like, I don't want him here. Again, it's not his house, but I wholeheartedly agree. Why the hell should Kareem be here? But basically, Richard is asking Sharon, what do you want to talk about? It's late. What's going on? Why can't you just wait until the morning? And she starts to say something about, you know, the president, but she stops. And, like, in the midst of it being quiet, Richard's like, what is it, Sharon? Barry just out of nowhere says, talk, girl! And then Kareem's like, hey. And then, you know, Richard, you know, stops the bickering and whatnot. Kareem talks first about how he went to the pharmacy. Sharon says something about a robber. She said she shot the robber and then, you know, left to go somewhere. And then 911 call. I called 911 and the guy that answered the phone gave it to Sharon saying everything was all right and nothing's adding up. She won't tell me anything. And then in the midst of it, Richard tells them, look, y'all need to hush. This doesn't make any sense. I don't believe what's going on. The president, this is ridiculous. Because Sharon starts to say some things about the president in regards to, you know, well, yeah, the president said this and that. And, you know, he took me, but he gets a notepad. And when I went on Twitter, people were like, Tyler Perry, you wrong. How the hell did you or Richard expect us to read what was on the notepad? So I actually freeze framed the episode and zoomed in as best I can. And there were 3 separate notes. So I'm just going to go ahead and read them all. But basically throughout the conversation out loud, Richard pretty much dismissed the entire story. Like, look, I think somebody was trying to prank call you. If every phone call that goes in and out of the White House is monitored, so there's no way the president would contact you like that. But on the notepad, he's like, where is your phone? probably bugged, and go upstairs and put your phone and all your clothes in the bathroom. Because, you know, again, all this stuff could be bugged. So, look, everybody, we're just, Kareem, you go home. You go home. Sharon, you're going to stay here. Everybody else, go to sleep. We're going to sleep. So, Kareem leaves. I think after the first note of where is your phone, Richard has Barry, Nancy, Kareem, everybody put their phones on the table. And then Kareem takes his phone and leaves. And everybody else puts, Richard takes their phones and put them in a drawer. And then, you know, Barry is like, you know, come on, Dad. Barry, we're not talking about this no more. Not tonight. No. Because, you know, Barry wanted to say something, but then we go over to Max and Bobby. No, you know what? Let me just talk about Kareem. So Kareem, he gets back to the apartment and Dale's on the couch. And he's like, where's Sharon? Hi, Dale. And Kareem gets into a semi-paranoid. I want to be honest here. I haven't really disliked Kareem over the past couple episodes because from his perspective, I can understand why he's acting the way he's acting. But at the same time, it's like he's still really passive aggressive. So anytime, it's like anytime Dale says something, Kareem think it is double tall. Wait, so why did you say it like that? Or am I supposed to be worried about Sharon? But then he talks about how, look, I don't know, but maybe that guy Kyle from the White House, the one that's possibly behind me getting shot, is behind this, or at least the chief of staff. But then I just know the president, he was flirting with her and just talking with her. It was just really weird because remember, Sharon and Dale both went to the White House to meet with Richard. And then the president noticed Sharon and, you know, wanted to get photos and everything. And hell, even when Dale wanted to get a photo or something, it's like he pretty much ignored him. So Dale was standing right there when this crazy shit went down. But basically, he's like, look, don't call Sharon. She doesn't want to talk with anybody. You rest up. I'm going to get some rest. We got to, you know, work at the pharmacy tomorrow. Well, you know, Dale was saying that. I don't know if Kareem, you know, is really quick to get him back in there because he just got out of the hospital early. But he does say, you know, because Dale isn't ready to work at the front again, which is completely understandable. He wouldn't want to work in the same exact spot that he got shot at less than like 24, 36 hours ago. So Kareem's like, look, yeah, you could work in the back. I'll work the front and we'll try to, you know, I'll talk to Sharon tomorrow if I can. So that's really the end of them for this episode. So going back to Richard and Nancy's house, Richard has a one-on-one with Sharon in his room. Nothing freaky like that, but basically he asks Sharon to explain what's going on. And Sharon pretty much tells him everything from Kyle coming to the pharmacy to abduct her, him getting shot by her, but he had on a vest. They went through this long tunnel and then an elevator. Next thing you know, they're in the White House, and the president was saying he would make me rich if I saw him and slept with him, and all this and that. And Richard is like, you know, at first he can't believe it. Well, look, I know you're telling the truth, but don't worry, I will handle this the best I can. And I feel like this could be adding more fuel to the, okay, so what kind of power / position or people do Priscilla and Richard apparently know? Because Richard wants to know this info because it seems like he's going to talk to the right people in order to make this stop. So just keep that in your back of your minds, because I do feel like Richard said, you know, this worst time thought, he's going to try to do something about it. So I find this very interesting. So afterwards, he just says, look, the reason, you know, I had you wash your clothes and everything is they probably bugged your phone. They probably put a bug on your clothes somehow. Don't tell anybody else about this. And, you know, I'll be in touch as soon as I can figure something out. So after that, you know, she goes into Barry's room. And to be honest, I'm actually quite surprised she's sleeping in Barry's room with Barry. I thought that either, you know, she would be on the couch or something. I did not expect her to be in the same room as Barry. Especially since, well, I think Nancy did tell him to clean the sheets, but I'm still wondering, are those sheets washed after he was with Mia? Because if I'm not mistaken, isn't this the exact same night as when Nancy bust in on him? So, look, I could be wrong, but whatever. So, essentially, Barry tries to comfort her, but he doesn't, because she can tell, like, you're visibly shaking, and she's not telling him what happened, and it's like, look, no, I just want to hold you. No, I can still smell that girl on you. Oh, Mia, I thought you were done with these Rakadouchi girls. Wait, what? Rakadouchi, didn't you know? Yeah, I see her around that store all the time. She looks different about that robe on and everything. And then all of a sudden it clicks in Barry's mind. I'm like, Lord, there goes the trigger word. But he tears the dresser apart because he's like, Ruth sent that girl to take the money. And I'm like, what the hell? Barry, last season you took the 100. At first it was $100,000, but then they changed the number so many times. Because remember, part of that money was used to get Barry out of jail. And then, you know, he said it was like over $150,000 or whatever. So basically, you know, it was like, is this Sharon's money? Is this Barry's money? Where did it come from? But then we learned, if you watch Ruthless, that it's Ruth's money that she hid in like a shoebox. Because Nancy's like, wait a minute, that shoebox, that's the same pair of shoes that Ruth at one time was really wanting, and I saved up enough money to get them for her. So she recognized the box. It was Ruth's. And that's when Daikon met up with Barry, and Ruth said, bring the money, I'll give you our daughter. And he brought the money. But if I remember that episode correctly, when Barry was getting ready to meet the Rakadouchi members one by himself, he had money in the shoebox, but then he also took wads of cash and put them in his coat pocket. So, did Tyler Perry just forget about this? Because, look, I was going to let it slide. I'm like, oh, maybe Barry kept some of the money. And when the Rakadouchi went through the box, Ruth is like, this isn't all the money. So then she sent somebody back as a mole in order to see if there's anything left in his room. Because remember, they had sex in his room. But then again, how did she even steal the money? Because, look, we only know when Nancy walked in, she saw those two having sex. So, I mean, did Barry go to the restroom and she scouted out the room when he wasn't looking? But then again, her stealing the money makes no sense because of the fact that when Nancy kicked her out, she was barely dressed and, you know, walking with shame out of the room. So, how she's supposed to have had searched through the entire dresser drawer? I mean, maybe Ruth knew specifically where. I think it was like at the very bottom or something like that, whatever. But, or behind it, regardless. That makes no sense continuity-wise. And the reason I'm harping on this so much is the fact that season 2 really brought in the connections to the Ruthless series. Because remember, in the continuity of the show, aka the timeline, the Oval is way ahead of where Ruthless is. And Ruthless is still nowhere close to where the Oval is. I mean, it's still behind mid-season 1 Oval, where Tally should have had escaped from the compound, went to Nancy and Richard's house, and eventually killed herself a long time ago. But she's still there. If you're watching Ruthless currently, or if you didn't know, Season 2 Part B kicked up on Thanksgiving. There are 4 episodes in so far. This upcoming Thursday or tomorrow will be episode 14, I believe. The season itself is about 19 or 20 episodes, just throwing that out there. But basically, this makes no sense. Barry's big plot point in season 2 was getting the money, going to meet with the Rakadouchi, getting abducted, and a bunch of things happened off screen. For example, we know that he got basically stripped and left in his trousers covered in glitter and flowers on the dining room table of the house. And all of his clothes, I guess we can assume, were at the Rakadouchi, meaning that if there were those wads of cash he placed in his pockets, the Rakadouchi, in theory, should still have it. So, if the whole sending Mia was to go to the house to get the money that Barry probably left behind, that made no sense because he put that money in his pocket. So, I don't know what Tyler Perry did here, but it makes no sense. And that's one of the reasons why this episode isn't a 10 out of 10. And it's funny because Sharon doesn't say anything, but she just gives that look, and Barry's like, look, don't you say anything, because it's like, yeah, that's what you get messing around with these girls behind my back, and now look at you. But Sharon really has no right to be, you know, picky and choosy, because remember, she kicked Mia out of Nancy and Richard's yard because she didn't want her around there with Barry, and she doesn't live there anymore. And then on top of that, you had her be the one that made Kareem have Dale stay with them. She doesn't pay any rent up in that apartment, and now she's not even staying there anymore. So, Sharon, you have no right to tell these people who they should and shouldn't allow in their homes. Or should I just say, in Barry's case, his parents' home. Sit down somewhere. Okay. So we go over to the hotel, and this is just hilarious to me. Max and Bobby arrive. They're blown away by the room. And there's only one bed, and Max calls dibs. He reads like a little note card by the flowers, basically welcoming them. The, you know, Mr. and Mr. Holmes. I forgot the name of Byron Charles or what. It was the fake name. Well, not the fake name, but it was a real person. But basically, it was the name that Bobby used to go into the White House. But apparently, they're in the room as a gay couple. So that, I guess that's their cover. But essentially, they check the room for bugs, and, you know, again, they're trying to ask, you know, okay, can we trust this? They know we're both trained, so I guess for now we should kind of, you know, think this might not be a trap. So they kind of just sit down and have a bro talk. So you gonna call Blakely? No, I think you should. I think she needs to be in on this. And Max is like, no, she says she doesn't want to be part of this stuff. She wants to be lie low. It's like, wait, do you not want a part of this stuff? Or, you know, why? It's like, do you really not want her to be part of this mission, or do you just not want her around? And then he flips the script. So are you going to call Lily? Yeah, I'm going to call her. And he calls her, but the number is blocked because remember, Donald told her your cell phone service has been blocked. You can't take any calls. You can't make any calls. You're going to be stuck here. And afterwards, Max is like, you know, wait, are you going to see her? And Bobby's like, no, well, yeah, eventually. But then Max is like, don't go over there because the vice president said, lie low. So then we go over to Alan's apartment again. Ellie's body is taken out in a body bag. So Ellie's dead. There's no question, if, ands, or buts. She's dead. Now, the explanation was that there was some sort of gang fight, gang war in the back of the apartment complex building. And it was a stray bullet. And Alan's like, yeah, we were standing in the room talking. We were like less than 2 feet away from each other. The bullet just came in there and that was it. And the paramedic was like, well, yeah, the thing is, we arrested like 9 suspects and we have one guy who was trying to run, and his story does seem to fit the description as being the one that killed Ellie. Sorry about that. Who was she to you? My girlfriend. And then he just leaves. And Alan is, you know, suspicious about the entire thing because some of these details just don't make sense. And I'm like, a stray bullet? Really? I'm not saying that couldn't happen because, you know, he's like, yeah, it came through that window. I'm like, this sounds as at least this one's okay. At least this makes more sense. And we know this cover story is bullcrap. We know Victoria has something to do with it because if she was watching in on Alan knowing that he hadn't killed Ellie yet, then I feel like in the midst of her pouring her heart out, she could tell that Alan would not do what, you know, she wants him to do because his feelings are going to get involved in, and that's why she had Ellie killed like that. At least this makes more sense than the whole season 1 thing where Richard and Barry were fighting over the gun and the car, and then the gun went off in a downward direction, but then somehow it went inside of a window on an upper floor of a house that killed a person in their sleep. So, yeah, I wonder what Alan's going to do. He's probably going to be traumatized by this whole crap. At the very least, I hope his mom's okay. So, the next day, again, I know somebody mentioned this in one of my sister's videos, like, yo, the next day thing took me out. So, my SpongeBob narrator voice. The next day, Grip is still on guard in Jason's room. Jason wakes up. and basically ask, you know, where's Gail? I don't know, sir. Are you effing my mom? No, sir. And he's basically letting Jason know, look, I'm not here to take any of your crap. If you want to try me, then I can stop you really quick. What you need to do is get up and start your day. Take a shower. Oh, yeah, I want to take a shower and I want to jerk off. Yeah, I want to jerk off so much. See what happens if you try to do it. I'll make sure you stop. And then Jason goes in the bathroom and Grip's like, oh, this damn kid. So the reason I kind of skipped over this scene is there really isn't much to talk about. I did talk with a couple people about the episode, and they told me how this scene, you know, I didn't like it. It dragged on. I'm not saying we even needed this scene. Maybe this is establishing. Maybe Jason tries to get the better of Grip at some point. Maybe they actually fight. That would be pretty cool, because he did say in the last episode, I will take that gun away from you. And when I do, just remember I said that I could take it away from you. So this could be building up to something. But at the very least, I do like the fact that this scene was short, sweet. Like I just said, was it a bit unnecessary? Yeah, this scene could have been deleted from the episode. But I think that because we've seen worst of Jason this season, I didn't really care. So then we go over to the hotel. Max wakes up and he's pissed because Bobby's sleeping on the other side of the bed. He's not fully on. I think his legs are kind of dangling off, but he's not at the pillow. He's not as high as the pillow, but I'd say that Bobby is as high on the bed as maybe Max's waist. And he's like, look, I called the bed. We ain't doing this. You ain't sleeping in this bed with me. It's like, yeah, you know, you got terrible farts. Yeah, I thought that would get rid of you. But basically, he didn't go over to Donald's house. And Max was like, good. Are you sure you want to go over there? And like, what, are you trying to get rid of me? It's like, no, I'm just seeing if you're going over there or not. But in the midst of their bickering, and again, these guys, they make the show for me right now. They're the main reason I enjoy the show for as little as I do. But this episode, like I said, was pretty good. The vice president comes in. And, you know, and they ask, like, look, why are we hiding in this fancy hotel? What's going on? Apparently, there's a gay rights convention in D.C., like this week or this weekend. And as a result, Max and Bobby, quote unquote, being a gay couple, is them hiding in plain sight. And then it's like, so wait, no rooms with two beds? They're all full. I don't know why, but I just love it. I just love how after all the dark and crazy things these two have gone through, they pretty much greet this kind of alliance with sarcasm and almost like just a stoic sense of, you know, hey, you know what, YOLO. We've been they tried to blow us up with a drone strike. I've taken multiple rounds to the chest from Kyle. Donald, Lily shot me. You know, like what, Kyle shooting Max and Lily shooting Bobby. You know what? I haven't seen anything. We've seen everything there is to see. So you know why now? Let's just go for the ride. So the vice president pretty much lets them know what the plan is. He was in the army just like Max, so he wants what's best for the country. Because it's like, wait, why do you want to get this guy out so bad? So you can be president? Well, yes, but at the same time, I want to get this country back on track. Because just like you, Max, I fought for the country, and he wants to do what's right. So this is the part that had me going, are we really doing this? He wants to meet with Hunter, tell him everything that he knows, tell him what he has planned. Because he's going to the public with all this information, and he's going to do it right now. And from there, Max and Bobby are going to be untouchable because they're going to be added to his security detail. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. This is, okay, we're really doing this, huh? So this is taking the hiding in plain sight to the next level. Now, hey, get dressed. We're leaving in 1 hour. I'm going to the White House right now. Max is like, whoa, this is a bad idea. Do you think this is the smart thing to do? Due to the fact that, well, look, they don't know. They know that Diane was murdered, not, you know, overdosed or whatever the news report said. But they don't know that Diane went over to the White House and did exactly what the vice president says he's about to do, and she ended up murdered. So he just up and leaves, says 1 hour. And Max is like, he's going to die. And then Bobby's like, no, he wouldn't kill him. He's the vice president in regards to Hunter. And then Max is like, he wouldn't, but they would. And it's, look, you getting ready or not? So I think, and I could be wrong, but I do think the vice president and second lady will be in season 3. But I think this is a terrible idea. And in the end credit promo for next week's episode, we actually do see the vice president sitting down with Donald, the first lady, and the president, basically saying, I want to give you a chance to resign right now. And I'm like, dude, go public. What the hell are you doing? Just do it already. Now you're going to wind up dead. And then if he dies, imagine this. Max and Bobby are part of the detail. And then the vice president's killed. Then what? Are they free game at that point where Hunter, Kyle, Donald will just kill them off? And speaking of Kyle and Donald, to round the episode out, the final scene, you got Donald at home. Remember, it's the next morning. He calls Kyle, or actually Kyle calls Donald to just say, look, I'm sorry, we got nothing on Bobby. It turns out he's actually outside the front door, and he comes in. Now, they pretty much go over all the various ways Bobby could have potentially gotten out of the White House by himself, but then it's like, no, there's no way he could do that. Did the president help? No, Kyle, he couldn't look. Well, we know he's weird. First lady? No way. Did they not suspect the vice president? I don't know. But regardless, Kyle says, look, I know you don't want, I'm sorry, baby, but I know you don't want to accept it. But he like kind of, you know, looks towards upstairs, hinting at Lily. And Donald's like, fine, let's go. So she's actually in the attic, and did it look like Lily was up there hoping to see Bobby? Or, you know, she was looking through the dresses, so it's hard to tell if she was up there hoping Bobby would sneak in again, or if she was literally up there just to get some stuff for work. But part of me feels like, yeah, she was probably up there for Bobby. Donald and Kyle walk up and, oh, what are you doing up here? Now you're going to tell me everything you know. Lily, unfortunately, thinks this is all one big joke. Oh, you got your lover boy. You're looking for a menage a trois. That's what this is. Well, yeah, romantic rendezvous or threesome. And how'd you get him in the White House? I don't know what you're talking about. How did he get out? I don't know what you're talking about. And then Donald's like, you know, Kyle made this scene for me because he's like a pet bull who just wants to be let off the leash. Like, he wants to go after the cat so bad. And when I say cat, I mean like a real dog chasing after a cat. Not what you might think I'm saying, but Donald, please, let me do it, please. Oh, is that how you beg? And then Donald's like, glove up. Oh, is that slang for condom? No. It's for kill this bitch. And then the episode ends with Kyle lunging at Lily. And I'm like, oh my God. So, guys, like I said, this was actually a pretty good episode. Easily the best of season 3. Was it perfect? No. I don't like the messed up continuity with the money that Ruth left in Barry's room. I know Victoria is quote unquote designed to be Veronica Harrington 2.0, evil and whatnot, but this just seems so beneath her. I mean, hell, the last time she spoke with Ellie face to face, she's like, you know what, I'm going to stop coming down here harassing you. This is beneath me. You're beneath me. You're dead. I've called it. It's going to happen. Yeah. You should have done this a while ago. I mean, I liked Ellie in the sense of her being one of, if not the only person in the damn White House who was actually trying to do their job. I do feel like her random turnaround of, Alan, I only love you, you're right, was completely out of left field, just like the bullet that came and killed her. But no, it just made no sense. I love the Max and Bobby stuff. Like I said, hilarious. What I don't like is the vice president confronting the president face to face. I'm like, we've already seen how this goes. I'm interested to see what Richard's going to do with the information Sharon gave him about the president and how that's going to possibly play into the connections he and Priscilla have with these people who are apparently in the shadows. And that's pretty much it for the most part. I think I've explained this episode thoroughly since this video is almost as long as the episode. But thanks so much for tuning in. And I will admit, I don't mind this video being long because for once, I don't feel like I've been ragging or ranting about the episode as opposed to having a good time. And I haven't had a good time watching The Oval this season until last night. Not to get my hopes up too much, but I do hope the rest of the season is at least close to, if not better, than last night's show. Let me know if you agree in the comment section below. It really felt like the episodes 12 and 13 of Ruthless, where I was kind of on the edge of my seat for a majority of the episode because I didn't know what would happen next. I do feel like because Ellie was killed so quickly at the beginning of the episode, that the momentum kind of slowed down after that. Because it's like, okay, where do you go after that? It's like, okay, we got some funny scenes with Max and Bobby. You got some annoying scenes with Kareem and Barry. But then after that, it's like, meh, whatever. So, yeah, either way, I was still satisfied. But let's talk about it more in the comments. Like and subscribe, as I always say in each video. And if you would like to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App.